Welcome back. Oregon State Representative Maxine Dexter is running for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District seat. The Northwest Portland Democrat is eyeing the seat that's been held by Representative Earl Blumenauer for nearly 3 decades. Dexter, though, is not the only Democrat fighting for the party's nomination. As of this taping, there are 3 Democratic candidates for Oregon's 3rd District. There's Representative Dexter, former Multnomah County Commissioner Shushila Jayapal, and Gresham City Councilor Eddie Morales. Ken Boddy interviewed Jayapal on this show shortly after she announced her candidacy. You can watch that on KOIN.com. And next week, Eddie Morales joins the program to talk about his run for Oregon's 3rd District. Right now, Dr. and Representative Maxine Dexter joining us for her stake in the race. Thanks for joining us here on Eye on Northwest Politics. First question is, you are a practicing physician, you're a state lawmaker, you're a mom, you have a full plate. Why jump into this race?
It's my time to serve. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to taking care of my community on a bigger scale than I've been able to do. It's what I do every day in the exam room, one person at a time. In the state level, I've been able to make a difference, and now I'm going to go to Congress and do the same.
What are some of the issues that really you'd like to focus on? It's tough when you're a freshman because, you don't have the stature, you can't be head of a particular committee.
Right.
What are the issues that you feel that you would be able to make some inroads in Congress on behalf of Oregon?
Yeah, I'm very committed to making sure that every person has an equitable opportunity to live a healthy life in a healthy community on a healthy planet. And I will do whatever I can. I'm in there to do the work. I don't need a chairmanship to make sure that we get things moving along. What I learned in the State House is that if you support the people who are doing the policies that you know will make a difference for Oregonians, that you lean in and you help them get those things done. As you build those relationships and trust, you get more responsibility.
That's pretty general. It could be said for anybody,
Sure.
For any position. But why specifically relative to Oregon? What do you want to focus on in Congress, to actually get done?
We are seeing a housing crisis unlike anything that I have ever experienced, certainly, and I think in Oregon's history it's pretty unique. And so housing is what I've been working on in the state legislature. It's what I really believe we need to work on at the federal level. Public housing has not been invested in for 40 plus years, and we need to make sure that everyone has a right to live in a home in the community of their choice that they can afford.
What would you try and get done, though? In other words, yes, housing is important. We need more public housing, clearly. What is it that you would like to actually accomplish there?
We need to invest in affordable housing. So public infrastructure, housing should be considered infrastructure the same as roads. Other, opportunities will avail themselves for us, but we have to focus on housing first and foremost.
Is there anybody there in Congress currently that you have a connection to?
I have several of my prior colleagues, Congresswoman Val Hoyle and Congresswoman Andrea Salinas, who I got to work with quite closely. And then I've had the pleasure of getting to know other members of our federal delegation pretty well over the years.
The ones that are there from Oregon right now, have you had conversations with them about what it's like, especially when they're brand new?
Yes. Both Congresswoman Hoyle and Salinas said it's the privilege of their life and that they would do it again. And Congresswoman Bonamici also kind of went into the details about what it's like. Before I really decided to jump in, I wanted to make sure that I talked with them about, balancing life and family. And I am convinced that this is where I want to be.
But going back to actually what can get done, in other words, it's, yes, it's a challenge. Yes, it's, something that you feel is the next step. I assume there are plenty of people who encouraged you to this. I mean, is that kind of what led to this?
Yeah, I think when you are out there doing the work, people have faith in you. And I've built a lot of trust in my community, so people leaned in and asked me to run. The opportunity to listen, to lead, and to get good work done for Oregonians is important. And I am there, and I'm going to get there to do it.
You've been a state lawmaker since 2020. You were on the committee that was looking at homelessness, trying to come up with some solutions. We're still nowhere near what needs to be done. I mean, when you look at what you've done so far in the past, what are some of the accomplishments?
So we passed a $200 million package for housing in the first 60 days of the 2023 session. That was historic, it was unprecedented. We got the dollars out the door before the end of session, and that was because our governor wanted to get it done, our speaker wanted to get it done, our Senate president wanted to get it done, and they asked me to help make sure that we got it through. We changed land use laws that have been in place for 50 years and are critical to the place that we all call home. It's part of the beauty and the opportunity that we all have to experience nature and to have housing in the place of our choice. It's also created some challenges, and so we needed to make sure that housing was elevated to the top priority in our land use laws, and that we bring in voices, but we make sure that housing outcomes and production are really where we're focusing.
Part and parcel to that is the issue of addiction, the issue of drug use on the streets. Where are you in terms of changes you feel need to be made to Measure 110? Because in February, that's clearly going to be a big part of the conversation in a very short amount of time that the legislature meets. Do you believe Measure 110 should stay as it is? If not, what would you like to see changed?
It's a really important question, and it's clearly on a lot of folks' minds, so thank you. First and foremost is Measure 110 is absolutely the right policy, and that focusing on public health and addiction as a chronic disease is absolutely the right tact. The problem was we didn't have the infrastructure in place to make it happen. We don't have medical assisted therapy available. We don't have behavioral health folks who can use those tools to make sure people get the addiction treatment they need. And we don't have anywhere when someone is in crisis on the street to take them that isn't a hospital or a jail. And we need to make sure that those stabilization centers, that the detox centers are built. And until we do, we need to make sure that the people across the community who are already doing this work in our harm reduction clinics and otherwise have those tools to be able to help our community. We can't take care of people without infrastructure, and we have not built it, so we've got to do it quickly.
But as far as the decriminalization of the drugs, do you still support that?
I do think that decriminalization of use is important. I also think that we need to use the tools that we have. We should not be seeing people using illicit drugs on our streets. That is absolutely unacceptable, and we need to make sure that there's a place for people to go that need shelter. Unhoused people have addiction issues too, and unfortunately they don't have another place to go. So we need those places. We also need to make sure that we're enforcing the laws that we have. Drug dealing is absolutely not legal. We have to make sure that we're enforcing those laws, and then large possession also needs to be enforced.
All right. Thanks very much, Representative Dexter, now running for Congress. We appreciate you coming in and talking with us for a little bit today.